What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the James Kazao channel. I'm your host, Teddy, aka James Kazao on MTGO, and today we have a donation bonus list from one of my biggest supporters, mrsj. Thank you so much for your continued support. And our last time mrsj sent in an Esper list. 2 times before that, they sent in Grixis Control and we trophied with it. And now we're getting back to the good stuff. I mean, the Esper list was really great. I'm really bad at playing white. But now we're back to Grixis Control, and one of the cool features of the trophy list was a Magus of the Moon main board, and it's back. I really like this angle. We're a deck that plays 2 islands and 2 basic swamps, and we can really leverage things like Magus of the Moon and Blood Moon. Very excited to see how this plays out again. Otherwise, 2 Baraglyphs is really nice. It's always a card I love running into. And then also, really interesting, especially for this meta, and I think it's a good call, we have 2 Inquisition of Kozilek, augmenting the 2 Thoughtseizes. This way we can pretty much always guarantee having a discard spell in our opening hand, which I think is really great. And also we don't have to worry about incidental life loss. Against Delver decks, I don't mind Inquisition so much, unless I really want to take Murktide Regent, but more often than not I'd rather take something like Questing Druid or these days Corey Steel Cutter, just anything that can outvalue me. And against a lot of the other decks, taking something like Show and Tell, you can do that with the Inquisition just as easily as Thoughtseize or even Stock Up. Otherwise, the deck looks pretty similar to what we're familiar with on the channel. A 3rd Shieldred's Edict is pretty nice. I'd rather have this over Molten Collapse or something like that, just because it's a lot more maneuverable being an instant. Over in the sideboard, it's a pretty solid sideboard and one I'm pretty comfortable with. I like the 2 Fatal Push. I've also been doing that recently, and I'm also really excited whenever someone sends me a list with Hydroblast. First of all, because it's just a beautiful card, and second of all, I never really feel like I run them because I already feel like the red decks are good matchups, but I always love having it. It always does some really surprising things and helpful things, like against the aforementioned Sneak and Show decks. We don't really have a good way to beat Sneak Attack, and that's been pretty much a huge concession I make, and also because Omnitel is just as popular, if not more so, than the Sneak and Show. But whenever I get to play with Blue Blasts, I love it. It's so nice. So I'm really looking forward to this league. If you'd like to submit your own donation list, check out the Patreon. If not, liking, commenting, subscribing goes a very long way. I also just got accepted into the MTGO creator program, so thank you Daybreak if you were watching this, and a lot of cool stuff coming up, I'm sure. Cool. Let's jam. Alright, let's see how the mrsj list treats us this time. Sorry, I got a little formatting to do here. Won the die roll. And pretty funny hand. Magus of the Moon, certainly a hammer of sorts. And Force of Will is pretty nice in the opening hand, I gotta say. As you can see, this is with my new Daybreak account. I'm very grateful to be part of the creator program. Tropical Island. Oh, there are no stops in here either. Let's see. I like having all the stops in because you never know when there's something you want to do. It's crazy how one of the default stops isn't at the end of second main or your end step. It's wild. And the start of combat. These are all very important stops, in case y'all didn't know. Ponder. Yeah, I'll start with that. It wouldn't be the worst thing if it got dazed. This looks like a pretty clear shuffle to me. Great. I think the sounds might be too loud too. Thoughtseize you. I like a little bit of sound to remind me which game I'm playing, but you know, too many can be intense or too loud. Force of Negation pitching Overlord of the Flood Pits. So this is one of the, I wouldn't say less celebrated Overlords, but it doesn't show up as much as Overlord of the Bale Merc or Standard had the white and the green one. What would be the point of forcing back? I think we just take our good exchange here. It does seem like that card only really shows up in 4 or 5 color control decks. So I think Magus the Moon is going to be pretty good. I'm betting we'll see up the Beanstalk. Yep. The classic combo deck, Beanstalk control. I really want this Narset. And I shouldn't be like in too much of a hurry to hit my next land. Well, I kind of should. Okay, fine. Pitch Narset. That just happened. Play Strix. Great. Now I'm going to take myself off blue. Ideally, I will brainstorm, hit some land. Oh shoot, I need to wait for them to tap out though. Otherwise they can probably just float a white and cast Swords to Plowshares on this in response. We're going for that hard lock. If I hit land Kaito, hit Kaito, not the land. Shoot. It's fine. Put back Snapcaster Mage, Kolaghan's Command. Hit for 1. The very first match, I get into a wild blue mirror. I need them to interact somehow. I think Bowmasters might elicit some kind of reaction. Yeah, it certainly isn't a reaction. Estrid's Invocation. This is going to be wild. Alright, let's get Kaito in. See if it can carry. Sometimes it does. So far, so good. Yeah, I'll take the Force. And then next turn, perhaps I will play Magus of the Moon. I didn't even have to. Alright. Very good. A deck with Estrid's Invocation and white mana will certainly have Swords to Plowshares. There's certainly some kind of up the Beanstalk control deck. So Leyline Binding will also be around. Can probably go without Baragoyf. Don't hate Inquisition. It's not going to be able to hit everything, but it will hit up the Beanstalk. I think I'm comfortable with 3. 3 discard spells should be plenty. Don't need the Spell Bomb. Take Red Blast. Blue Blasts are also pretty handy in this matchup sometimes, depending on the kind of cards they're running. If it's like 4th Aerlingus. Was this the pilot who's doing like Leyline of the Guild Pact as well? I can't really remember. Agent from the Catacombs. Don't need 3 Edict. And I can trim a land as well. Doesn't really seem like they'll have room for Wasteland in this mana base. So, cut the mountain for now. But we'll see. We'll see. Am I doing anything wrong? If they have Uro, we'll just be a sitting duck, but if they're doing like Estrid's Invocation and Overlord of the Flood Pits and stuff like that, I mean, you can't have room for everything. Definitely going to keep Red Blast against this blue enchantment synergy deck. Carpet. I will invalidate that for as long as I can, but it won't be easy. These ponders in hand. Yeah, certainly won't be easy. Get a Badlands. Thoughtseize you. We can make it through the first few turns. Should be fine. Parallax Wave is awesome. What's the angle with this, though? You can do some pretty nasty things. Leave creatures in exile forever. We're clearly taking up the beanstalk. You have force but no blue card. I'll be ready for that force with this red blast. If I can make it through the few early turns here, then I have less compunctions about playing islands out, just because they'll have more mana. Naturally, I guess it'll depend on how many land drops they make. Until then, I'm perfectly happy just playing out non-islands and not casting Ponder. Because I feel like Ponder is just as good late game if your mana is scaling with it, you know? It seems like it certainly will be. We'll see who draws the cool stuff first. Okay, and they don't have another land drop, so it's actually kind of important that I don't give them carpet mana. Come on, deck. You are killing me right now. All three of my draw steps so far this game have been land, which is pretty sad. Can we break it up a little for turn 4? Nah. Maybe I'll be grateful at some point. Let's tip the scales a little bit. Get the non-islands. It's getting a little absurd. I mean, I guess if I just get all these lands out of the way, it could lead to a pretty good end game. I mean, there's always going to be lands in your deck. It's a control deck, so I don't know. It's a little ridiculous. The account is bugged. My DP account is bugged. My draw step is only lands. You start to question reality a little bit. Pretty sure I trimmed that mountain as well. Yeah. They got sick of doing nothing. That was worth a red blast. Okay. Time to feed the carpet. I wonder if Snap Thoughtseize is the way? No, I think I need them to spend their mana. If I can find a Brainstorm, I can't. But I could have 2 red blasts. That seems pretty good. Bowmasters might be hard to leverage because they're sure to have quite a few removal spells at this point. They haven't done anything really proactive at all. But I'm comfortable with them having lots of mana at this point. And yeah, hopefully we just got a lot of painful land draws out of the way for a late game. We'll see. Enigmatic Incarnation. At the beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice another enchantment. If you do, search your library for a creature card with mana value equal to 1 plus the sacrificed enchantment's mana value. So it is a birthing pod that uses enchantments instead of creatures. as the cost. I mean, I'll counter it. Force pitch force. They got 2 unknowns. We'll fight. I want to point out though that Screw does beat Flood. So we gotta be a little nervous. Like if I draw a land here, it's probably over. Force is not bad. Ponder. Sure. Maybe I could have gotten 2 damage in first. That might have been a mistake. I don't think they were going to let me do it anyways, though. Now, since they know Kaito is such a thing. Alright, play Strix. Or hold on. I'm going to shuffle instead, because I realized I want to be able to hold up Hardcast Force. In addition to that Red Blast. Now they're getting the carpet bump. They decline the parallax wave, or the carpet. They're not trying to cast that yet. I wonder if there's some kind of combo at play here. Wouldn't be surprised. Alright, don't want that Bloodstained Mire. I really don't, folks. Oh my god. Is this gonna fail to find? I think it's gonna fail to find. Damn close. This is the funniest game I've ever played, I think. It's turn 9, which I guess is pretty late game, but it's turn 9 and there's 3 lands left in my deck. That is hilarious. That is just hilarious. I'm ready to draw straight fire for the rest of the game. My opponent does not seem to be drawing very well. Sorry this isn't the most exciting match to kick things off with, but pretty typical for a legacy control mirror, I'll say. Oh my god, I can't stand to draw that land. Here's what we'll do. We'll surveil it into the yard. Play that. And then Thoughtseize. Hardcast Force. There's no reason not to get this massive mana trade up. Take the Parallax Wave. Okay, 2 lands left. 2 lands left in the deck. If I see one of them, I will lose my mind. I feel like at some point they probably need to start binding these Baleful Strix. And I bet they really don't want to, but that was a good draw. I mean, I guess we did have a pretty big fight over the enigmatic incarnation. I realized that if that resolved and they were able to sacrifice the Leyline binding, they probably could have gotten like an Atraxa or like, yeah, Overlord of the Hauntwoods or something crazy. Well, I don't want that to resolve. I've got some massive endgame here. Do they have another Force of Will? So they drew all 4 Force of Wills. This has been a game of some wacky variance. I draw every land in my deck. They draw 4 Force of Wills. What are you gonna do? Just a wacky game? You got it. Get those out of the way before they get beanstalks. If I draw Cling to Dust, I can draw like 3 cards a turn. That's pretty good. Brainstorm. That's the one bad thing about drawing all your lands, is that shuffling becomes a lot harder. I'm gonna ponder. This might not be good enough to keep. Yeah, I'm gonna shuffle. I think given that pretty much every card in my deck is fire outside of the discard spell, Inquisition, namely, I'm just more likely to hit something good, you know? Lightning bolt. We're getting there. Slow and steady. It's a good reason to love Baleful Strix, that's for sure. I definitely could have cut more lightning bolts, but given the weird circumstances, I'm actually very happy I didn't cut any of them. But yeah, these are bizarre circumstances. I know they're out of Force of Wills, so that part's cool. Leyline Binding. They probably did not want to do that. But now I'm not really pushing damage so much. I need to jump here. Alright, come on. Oh my god, deck. I am going to murder you. I'm going to murder this laughable draw. I mean, I will not be at all surprised if I lose this game. I've just drawn way too many lands. Clearly, I drew like every land in my deck. Patience. Every point counts here. Kind of seems like the card in their hand might be a land. Yeah. I mean, if they crack that one too, and I hit for one more with Strix, and then draw another lightning bolt or something, I don't know. It's just a funny game. It's just a funny game. One of those funny games. Did I bring in Price of Progress? I definitely did. That would definitely kill me, though. Can't cast that. Should have thought about that, too. Oh my god. Oh my god. Force of Will. You gotta do it for us. You gotta do it for us. Brainstorm. Resolves. There really is nothing like seeing a brainstorm after you've drawn uninspiring cards for a long time. What do I do about this? Because, like, if they sacrifice one of the leyline bindings, it doesn't go super well for them, right? But what if the creature just automatically trashes me? Or has flying? I should try to counter it. Nowhere to run? Nowhere to run? Alright, we might actually lose. Depending on what I draw here. It could be Bowmasters. There's still, what, 4 copies of that as well? My deck is, I think, mostly Bowmasters. So there's a 6 in 24 chance. That's pretty good odds. Plus whatever cantrips are still in there. What is it? What will it be? Oh, I can't watch. I kind of want to... Yeah, I kind of want to see if I can chump this for one turn. I have the backup, of course, of double bolting the Overlord. I just don't want to do that, really. I feel like the smart thing to do actually would be double bolting the Overlord and then trying to get it done with Opposition Agent. But the problem with that is that they might have like Swords to Plowshares or something. So it does actually feel more correct to let them get their Everywhere token. They don't need more mana. If I'm gonna lose it all, I want to lose it all and have them lose a card. No? Oh, okay, fine. This doesn't really make sense the more I think about it. Because they might be fine with the chump, you know? They might be fine just like letting me chump block and then they'll just like plow it some other day. Yeah, maybe that made no sense. Maybe my brain is fried. Brainstorm? Hook it up. Matches of the Moon, that's so funny. I mean, they can still cast whatever they want, let's be honest. Where's my Snapcaster Mage? It's in exile. I can put them to 1. Maybe they'll draw a card or something. Bowmasters. Well, that was agonizing, but a win is a win. I'll be back for round 2. Welcome back for round number 2. Up against my good buddy, Michael Reed. That is correct, sir. So plan accordingly. This hand is fine. You are not on lands. So I'm not going to play like you're on lands. I'm not going to fetch my basic mountain or swamp and do that. Still going to Thoughtseize ya. Okay, Force of Will pitched Thassa's Oracle. So that means they're probably protecting Doomsday on turn 1. And this is a bit of a gamble, but if they don't have Daze, I can get them to expend some real resources here. Oh, Tamiyo? That's interesting. There's no guarantee I'll be able to beat this either. But the way they forced that Thoughtseize makes it seem like they have a Daze. But yeah, there's no guarantee I can beat that. Hot damn. Alright, this version only has 2 bolts, so I'm not super optimistic, but there one is. Tight. What a crazy game. Let's go ahead and surveil here. I'm gonna bin that. Bowmasters, you got it. I'm glad they didn't get to pick off my Snapcaster Mage for free. Now, what's the benefit in Thought Seizing? Well, not much. I feel like, well, maybe much. Or maybe their last card's just a land. We'll see. Yeah. You play good cards. Good players have good cards. Brainstorm and Brainstorm. Lion's Eye Diamond. This can set up some pretty crazy stuff. I think I'm going to take the 1 here. And then attacking back. They're not really inclined to block with Bowmasters. And life total is pretty relevant against Doomsday. So now that they see I'm willing to attack, they'll probably be less willing to... Oh my god, what is this deck? Yeah, less willing to send with army, but now this all makes sense that they're just sending with whatever they can here. How am I going to beat this Murktide region? I wish I kept that Edict. I've misplayed. Cast Brainstorm. If I can survive. Think I can survive? It's just going to be all about surviving. Play around discard spell. And then hope we survive. How did this game get so scary? I guess Bowmasters also applies here. Is it? Brainstorm? I mean, it's worth it. Not to mention, 2 hardcast Force. That'll also keep you in this. But yeah, it's 3 looks at Daze, Bowmasters, and Force of Will. I don't need to tell Michael his outs. He knows his outs. Alright, so Doomsday Creatures, we call this. Doomsday with Friends. You can count on Baraglyph too, post side. The whole point in this matchup is that they just want to be super threat dance. And while that also includes their Doomsday combo, because that is certainly threatening, they'll just trim on stuff like Lotus Petal, maybe Cabal Ritual and Personal Tutor, and just load up with even more creatures I can't deal with. Typically they'll be lower on interaction though, because they know that their threats are just better than mine. But I really like this version that mrsj has come up with. It's very controlling. And I like having 4 discard spells against Doomsday. Typically side out Cling. Triple Edict might be a little high. You don't want to be entirely soft with the combo. But yeah, I can trim like my own grindy stuff here as well, just because it's going to come down to 1-for-1 trades, really. Like, can I stop your thing? Okay. And then the cycle will continue. But I can't really pass up Agent either, since they can't combo while that one is out. I feel like I've never been consistent in the amount of lightning bolts I side out versus Doomsday, because it is really cool to be able to leverage those, since Doomsday naturally reduces their life total quite significantly. But at the same time, a good Doomsday player won't put themselves in that position. Holy cow, I should have forced. I'm drawing to 2 bolts, 2 pushes, 3 red blasts. All that shit. I'll thought seize them. Them getting clues though, it's not good. It's really not good. They're not just pure value in these Doomsday decks. They can like kick off the Doomsday pile and make you lose out of nowhere. Oh, that's good. Well, that's good. Although on one hand, there's a level of relief that they're only gonna get 1 clue out of the Tamiyo. That part is nice. There's Bolt. Let's ponder. And then usually I want as many forces as I can get, but I think it's going to be more important to hit a land drop next turn. Naturally, without needing a brainstorm to resolve and worry about bowmasters and all this crazy stuff. All the crazy stuff that's in the world. Do that. You! Take this! Wow. I see how it is. Surely you use Tamiyo to pick up one of these cards, right? No. How are you gonna... If you use all your resources like this, how are you gonna defend yourself from bowmasters? What if there's no blue card? There'll be a blue card. I told you. Alright, go like that. Then as to not arise suspicion, I should probably surveil anything and everything into the graveyard. Just look like a desperate cad. Yeah, not even that will save me. I'm screwed, yo! This is pretty good. Alright. They're not gonna go for it, though. They're too good for that. Chase Wilder Mysteries. It's rather tempting. Alright, we got there. It's just that MRSJ luck, you know? Welcome back for round 3. It seems good. One thing I do need to shift with my DB account, make sure the art is lining up. Because, got 2 Underground Seas and they both have different art in this deck. I like leading off with Ponder. I do think I'll want land number 3. I guess I'll take another Brainstorm. If we're not fighting a creature deck, this could be a quick one. Oh my god. Yeah, we're so screwed. It's a really slow Oops All Spells hand. And by really slow, they're not winning on turn 0. There's Force. That's part of the equation. Put these back. We'll see if I need to emergency try and Brainstorm into another Force blue card. Hopefully not. Hopefully 1 Force is enough. So I know they have another Spirit Guy. They exiled it and then passed, realizing that maybe they couldn't do anything with it. Okay, bin that. Don't need that. Looking for one of the 4 discard spells. They dumped a Poxwalkers. Narset. That's not going to help too much. Still missing on a discard spell. These Kolaghan's commands are sticky. Do that. Shuffle. I'm going to spin again. It's pretty important. No dice. I'm scared. Here we go. Undercity Informer. I mean, there's no way they don't have, like, Pact of Negation or something, right? Yeah, the hand would be way too... The hand's so stacked anyways. That's the Spirit Guide we knew about. If they have to pass the turn... No. No, no, no. Well, that's a damn shame. I feel like we brainstormed quite a bit. It wouldn't have been that crazy to hit, you know? Really doesn't feel like it would have been that crazy. Might be weird to see Fatal Push coming in, but the creature juke is real, and I'd rather have Fatal Push for Rotting Regisaur, Barragoyf, whatever, and over Edict, because Edict is pretty expensive. Magus is weird, because, like, they often don't really need to rely on their lands to make black for Dark Ritual. They have, like, Lotus Petal and stuff like that, but Spirit Guides don't make black mana. It's certainly more helpful than Kolaghan's Command. Take Surgical. Red Blast, 1 on the play is acceptable, I think. Yeah, 4 discard spells. We just missed catastrophically. Trim a Strix. Can't trim Bolts. We were already only on 2. Oh, Spellbomb would have been an amazing find as well off the Brainstorm. Holy cow. Yeah, we had some real live outs. Some intensely live outs. Yep. I mean, if their hand is just like the nuts, it won't work out so well here, but they're going to 5, so I feel like Thoughtseize should buy us enough time where Cling to Dust can really mess them up. Yeah, wow. Pretty risky to take Fel the Profane. Although, if they're drawing a land, they're also not drawing the additional mana they need to go off with Undercity Informer, so I don't know, I kind of like this line. I think it buys me the most time, but I do need to mount a defense because I didn't take Informer. There we go. I'm gonna shuffle. Got the best card anyways. Thoughtseize me. Probably take Force. Which will make it pretty easy to ponder next turn. Yeah, that's the one they just have to deal with off the bat. Brazen Barber. Not too helpful. Inquisition. Sure. Depending on how redundant their hand is, though, this might not be too helpful. It's not. Conjurer's Bauble. It's good against Cling. That's for sure. Yep. Alright, send it back. Game's getting crazy. Thoughtseize, sure. Taking Cling. They don't want to have to use the Bauble. Sewers. Keep that. Play Bowmasters. 6-turn clock. Maybe a little faster if Brazen Barber gets involved. But we're definitely doing this. Oh god. Oh god. Yeah, take the ritual. They're gonna draw. Alright, they got one turn to do this. If they don't do it next turn, I'm flashing in Brazen Borrower, and I'm winning. Mark my word. Oh, I think we're gonna do it. We did it. And that was the easy one. Now I'm on the draw. Doesn't seem like they're very interested in any kind of creature strategy. It's that weird point where I think having really any blue card is better. Like, I'll feel real dumb losing with an Edict in my hand. They'll probably go Pedal to the Metal. They're on the play, they might as well. I mean, I have a Force. I'm not going to mulligan. But if they send it with Protection, I don't even know. They're down to 5. It's not super easy to send with Protection on 5. But not impossible. Okay. Bad draw. Whoa. Take your threat. Yeah, this is the right kind of hand you'd want for a Belcher, though. You don't want to ritual out a bunch of Belchers, because if you force it through with Pact, you might not have the mana on your upkeep to activate it. This is too many lands. Alright. 2 unknowns over there. Take that. God, Cabal Therapy would be rough. Play Baragoyf. I don't want to wait another turn. Although that would probably be safest, right? But if I untap with this, that'd be pretty clutch. Undercity Informer. God, I hope they don't have the mana to activate this. I know they have a Pact. We'll know if they do or not, whether they let this go. They're thinking about it. Yeah, they do. So they probably have the win. Rough stuff. Yeah. Shit. Well, classic oops all spells. Don't think there's anything that would have helped either. Like, what am I gonna do? Consign an Archimedes trigger? Crazy. Welcome back for round 4. Crushed by the rather synergistic and powerful oops top decks. And now we're up against MTGO. So I like this discard spell, Force of Will situation we got. And we'll see what kind of blue-black combo Joe's been working on this time. Show and tell. They don't have a payoff for the show and tell, but it's kind of like besides the point. Still just ask them to jump through those hoops to make their combo happen. So they drew Ancient Tomb. Chromox. Brainstorm. Get that out of the way. Forcing that would have been pretty funny. I wonder if they would have forced back. Tough draw. Yeah, that was the other thing. In that game 3 against Oops, I was like, damn. Too many lands. Similar to my complaint with match 1. Game 2. We ended up winning that one, fortunately, but yeah, we just needed more action cards to beat Oobs. Stock up. It's a good card. Cast Bowmasters. Start applying pressure alongside this lightning bolt. Maybe we'll get there in time. I'm not going to hold up Bolt, because if I hit a discard spell here, it's pretty important. Or Cling to Dust. Usually it's a joint effort of Show and Tell and perhaps a reanimation strategy. So, yeah, then slamming Baraglyph to cut a turn off the clock. Next turn could be the move, then I'll just surveil Baleful Strix into the graveyard. Not really what the matchup is about. But if I overwhelmingly get the impression that it's not a reanimator deck, for some reason I'll just cycle Cling to Dust. It's a lot of stock up. It's a lot of value. It's a good card. Sure, I mean, I think it's fine. We got a real good idea of how much trouble we're in by whether or not they force Baraglyph here. Okay, we're in trouble. Either that or they just don't think that, or they think they have another turn, you know? Show and Tell, alright. I'll force, they'll probably force back. 3 cards left. Can they make it happen from there? Omniscience? Probably. Limdul's Vault? That will eventually find them an Emrakul, I'm sure. But let's just make sure. When are they going to draw that, though? Is their last card a card that draws cards? Yeah, it is. Shit. That's not good. Atraxa. I see a 1 ring. I should probably pack it up now. Okay. Red Blasts are good. Opposition Agent is fine, I think. Meh. Oh yeah, it has Flash. Surgical Extraction. Consign to Memory. Those are the good ones. I don't know if I want to fight over Meltdown. I mean, Chrome Mox with Meltdown. Damn, I am pretty disappointed dropping the Oobs. The 4 discard spells. I mean, you can't Thoughtseize the top of the deck. That's what they always say, and it's true. And yeah, they put together that Undercity Informer off the top. Maybe I was supposed to take Pact of Negation all that time ago. But also the mono was like pretty steady. They had like 3 lands at that point. I have this bad habit of just dwelling super hard on my losses. What about Magus of the Moon? I don't think I need 3 Edicts. These bolts can go. Don't need the Mountain. Trim a Strix. Trim a Kolaghan's Command. Trim a Baraglyph. And then I'm going to cut Spellbomb too. That's what I should have done. I should have mulliganed for like Spellbomb. I feel like Spellbomb hasn't shown up at all. I keep forgetting it's even in my deck. This has a clock and 2 consigns. That's pretty good. I'll lead on a Surveil, probably. Island Go. Yeah, I'll keep that. More messed up stuff. Scare the hell out of them. That's what you're supposed to do. Always keep your Surveils. Even when it's the last card you want. Makes your opponent play weird. Unless it's me. I always say jam no matter what. It's possible maybe I was supposed to consign that, but I don't think... Yeah, I don't think it's good enough. They just put a Show and Tell under there. The Suvin Drifter. That is so crazy. Hmm. The Sylvan Drifter doesn't play very well with Atraxa, but it's definitely good with like Grizzlebrand and Emrakul. So I could time walk them, bounce that. Usually Brazen Borrower's main role in the matchup is like bouncing Omniscience. They have 4 cards left. Doesn't seem quite right. Should use my mana, additionally. Wonder if they're thinking about dazing. Don't think they would do anything else. Force of Will. Send it back. I guess I'm forcing Vesuvan Drifter. Doesn't feel like I have many other outs to it. Ah, Yggdrasil. This card is colorless. I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Don't you dare Flusterstorm me. Oh yeah, duh. I did that wrong, folks. You're supposed to leave one up, because they might have Fluster. Yeah, I want to discard spell. Yeah. Although Edict is good too. We're on a slow track here. They're at 20. It's not good. Hopefully things just explode at some point. Okay. That's interesting. So, wait, how did I stack the Ponder? I think I put the Edict after that. So if they spend some time on Limdu's Vault and Vesuvan Drifter and all that, and I just extract Show and Tells in response, might be able to get them with no resources. Like if they play a land, they might be tempted to go for it. Although, since Vesuvan Drifter will have Summoning Sickness, maybe that's not even worth it to them. I don't know. Yep. Alright. Putting a lot of faith in that I put Edict next, right? I just did that, right? Yeah, of course I did. I'm not a complete fool. Set them up with the bomb. Okay, so I think we do something kind of weird here, right? We let them Limdual's Vault, and then we extract Show and Tell. I don't know, it still messes up everything. I think we just let them Limdual's Vault anyways. And then we shuffle their deck, haha. Ponder shuffles and draws a Ponder. One of the classic little bugs in MTGO. This time, the card is deemed satisfactory. So what card do I want to deal with the least? You have to assume they have more Show and Tells than anything else, right? Like that just seems like basic math to me. I was going to be more patient and wait to let this trade for Limdual's Vault and stuff, but I realized that when a combo deck keeps their Ponder, it usually means you're going to lose. Brainstorm. Say hello to some people that I know. I think that means they had a Show and Tell in hand, though. This DB account does let me see my opponent's hands. It's on a little screen down here. They do get a free shuffle. Okay, they're all set up. They have 4 pretty sick hits. Emrakul's by far... Emrakul and Archon are like the big problem ones. Copying Shieldred is pretty whatever, and then copying Atraxa is annoying for lifelink purposes. But, I mean, what if they can't Limdual's What if they just vault and vault and vault, but they can't, like, find the right card, you know? I mean, they will eventually, but not to mention I'm drawing to, like, 3 red blasts. Baragoyf. Okay. So it can't be Archon. They're probably going to spin up Emrakul. And then I'll probably just sacrifice everything except Baragoyf. And hope that's good enough. Because then if they can't manipulate their deck further, well, they might, like, pick Brainstorm or something, I'm not sure. Do they have to find a 5-card sequence that is Emrakul and Brainstorm or something? Or just 2 good creatures? They don't have any show and tells to work with. But I probably... How did I cast Surgical? I think I paid mana for it. Alright, let me have it. What a surprise. Alright, I'll do exactly what I said I was gonna do. Go to 1. Stock up. Not what I was expecting. So they're gonna put Emrakul back in the deck somewhere. If they can Limdual's Vault again, I think they'll have it this time. Ooh, there's that red blast I wanted. Boy, I needed that red blast. Alright. It's not in my hands anymore. Shieldred. On the hard cast. I guess if they just trade for Baragoyf, I will not be in very good shape. Meanwhile, they can kind of steadily hit in the air. That's assuming they don't find what they need off this Ponder. They got 3 hits. Emrakul, Archon, Atraxa. They decline. And yeah, I do need to attack. So I go to 4 Snapcaster Mage. Yeah, I think we can pack this one up. Cool game, though. They're at 6, too. It's like they don't even need to block. In fact, I think I might have not. Although they did play around Gut Shot. Beseech the Mirror. I missed that one. When I was looking at their deck. I got a little bit of everything. Let's just pack it up. Alright. Let's try and fight for that positive record. Here comes the final round here. And yeah, double Bowmasters usually wins. That's the deal. And I suppose I'll give myself the option to Surveil if that seems like an overwhelmingly good decision. Cyber Wraith is playing Misty Rainforest. Not sure about this. I think I want to make it more likely to hit land number 3 for a turn. Edict. Well, I mean, when you see Misty Rainforest, you think blue-green. When you think blue-green, you think Nadu. And Edict is definitely the most effective removal spell for a resolved Nadu. So, yeah. I was thinking the other day, do you think Nadu, like, was a nimble obstructionist? As in, they're both birds from the same plane. They're dressed pretty similarly. At one point, could have been employed as one. They both have 3 power. Not sure what we're up against here, but it does feel like I do want to hit that 3rd land. I'll bin Brazen Barber. There we go. It's not a wasteland. It's really hard to tell what's going on here. I'd consider this a pretty poor Kolaghan's command, but we need to start figuring out what's going on, and I think this is a good way to prompt action. If we gave them a free way to discard a reanimation target, you know, it happens. We're in the blind. Gaining information is one of the most important things. Cavernous Souls? This must be Doomsday. Facing Doomsday twice in the same league. It's pretty cool, I gotta say. And now I feel very confident with this hand of Double Force. And yeah, we'll just start firing Bowmasters as soon as possible. One. It's kind of hard to believe that a 7-card hand can't go off, though. I mean, if it's a Doomsday deck like the one we faced earlier, that one had Bowmasters. No Kaito. Put back C and Edict. And then just commit more Bowmasters to this race here. They're gonna daze. I'll pay. Whoa, 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 I haven't even paid yet. Well, I'm not gonna pay for the first one now. PSA. Let your opponents pay. Now if they try to go off on their turn and can protect it with Force and Daze, I can pay, and I would not have been able to pay had they let me pay before firing that second Daze. Just little things. How is that back? Oh, right, there's 3 in this version. It's the little things. But I would prefer 4 lightning bolts in this situation. And I didn't cast the Bowmasters there, unlike the turn prior, because yeah, now I don't have that second Bowmasters to fight a potential opposing Bowmasters. Alright, we'll cast that. When are they gonna go off? Alright, beauty. Delta go. Yeah, it would be really nice to just finish this with a flurry of lightning bolts. Ponder the 4th Bowmasters. That's the kind of thing that drives your opponent just nuts. I should try to end this. Yeah, it's pretty dismal for Doomsday to try and combo after turn 4 most of the time. If your opponent's putting up the slightest bit of aggro. And yeah, Grixis control maybe doesn't pressure too effectively, but we do pressure a non-zero amount. And even way back in the day, like Baleful Strix filled that role just fine. Because 1 point of damage is actually worth 2 when you're talking Doomsday, after that Doomsday resolves. Because you round down, you don't round up. Okay, so I think I'll still hold on to one edict though. It's pretty normal for them to shift onto the creature strategy. I don't even know if this is Doomsday, to be entirely honest. I just saw Cavernous Souls. It could be... I don't know. I mean, it is Doomsday, but I'm just saying, like, we didn't actually see Street Wraith, we didn't see Consider. The only suspicious card we saw was Cavernous Souls. What did they exile with Force? Brainstorm, that's right. I had clocked that, I remember. And I remember thinking it was unremarkable. The final cut, I think Baragoyf is fine. There's really nothing worse than, as you saw in the Oops All Spells matchup, where I was just like, here's my 3-mana beater. I hope I survive. They're taking a mulligan. I think it's pretty lazy of me to keep this hand. Like, even though Opposition Agent is here and is an ace in the hole, I need to exhibit better habits. So this hand is much better. And I'll probably bottom Brainstorm. No. Well, yeah. Sometimes you just need that 2-power creature to get over the line. Lotus Petal. And passing to second main, and they're done. Okay. Yeah. I think I'll just retain the ability to surveil, but also hold up Consign here. But I don't know what I would consign, unless they went for the win this turn. But before that, I'd probably just try and double force a Doomsday. So yeah, it's most likely going to be a surveil. Duress. So that would have missed Opposition Agent, but we're also not really, like, close to casting Opposition Agent. They could combo this turn or the next, and we wouldn't have Opposition Agent, and it's not clearing a daze until turn 4, and I would need to draw another land on top of that, so... I think there were issues with the first hand. But yeah, we definitely could have entirely blanked that Duress. Yep. Right back where we started. Except now we're getting more mana underneath us. Yeah, opponent pointed it out as well. Cavern was really the only suspicious card. So they did a really good job of concealing. But they're saying they could have just discarded any other land, I think. And then I would have really been in the dark. I would never. It's always a good learning experience. Speaking of don't do this, though, don't flood out. Huge shout out to Cyber Wraith. Hmm. 4 cards in hand. It is really important to start attacking, but there's nothing to do with the Snapcaster Mage. If there's something like Brainstorm or anything, okay, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. We should be able to get through now. Although there are situations where the Bowmasters won't be fast enough. But having 2 Force of Wills seems pretty good. I'll let the duress happen. Taking the consign. That makes sense. And I think I still need to hold on to the Snapcaster Mage though, because a single discard spell can't break up the force unless I play out the Snapcaster Mage. And I don't know how good Surgical is going to be, because they're not likely to try and combo off until they know they can beat Force of Will. I have a lot of good draws from here. Okay, maybe not anymore. Turns out Surgical on Duress would have been pretty good. They take Surgical Extraction. That is fascinating. Okay, so I still have some good draws from here. A land gives me Hardcast Force plus pitch. And there's that Edict. I think I almost would have preferred the land, honestly. Ponder. Certainly worth it at this stage. They can bust through a force in combo. They probably have like 1 or 2 more turns to do it before the life total gets a little too low. But what they don't know right now is that they need to get their deck empty, twin with Oracle, because I picked up this Edict. Ooh, Brainstorm. Gosh, that seems really good. You know what other card we haven't seen all league? Kaito. We haven't seen Kaito all league. Isn't that crazy? It's just a no Kaito league. So I know I made a big deal about Edict. I think I'd rather Ponder. They're just better tools out there. I think Bolt. Bolt plus double force. They might be like, okay, I have just enough life to make this line work through Bowmasters. And that's where Bolt can get them. Unless they're on a creature plane now. Yeah, if they facilitate a creature plane with Cavernous Souls, like Shieldred the Apocalypse, that might also do it. Still always force, because, like, you know, they might have, Shelldock Emrakul. There's so many different ways to build Doomsday. Alright, GG's. That was certainly a fun league. I would definitely had, I mean, it was a pretty classic Grixis control league, like, very easy to identify where you lost all the games and the matches. Beat Doomsday twice, that's always been a good matchup. We beat Enchantment Control in a very strange set. And then we lost Oops All Spells quite easily. It was very easy to diagnose where those games went wrong. We flooded for the Oops matchup standards in Game 3. Game 1 I don't fully remember. Was Game 1 close? I don't think it was. I think I kept like a pretty standard hand and got comboed. MTGO. I can never remember match 4 in all these leagues. Every video I make, I can never remember what happens in match 4. But I'm sure like we just kind of got comboed. We got probably picked apart because Joe plays blue combo decks. So yeah, I could see that being possible, that Joe just sculpted and was able to beat my interaction. Yeah. I mean, what can I say? mrsj and I play similarly but quite differently. Like, you know, you'll never see me without 4 lightning bolts because that's how I like to play, and 2 cling to dust, but I really like this angle of the 4 discard spells. It's just
ironic that, well, okay, so we faced 4 combo decks technically and 1 fair deck, so it would be disingenuous to say that we lost to the combo decks and beat the fair ones with this 4 discard spell configuration. And I think MRSJ is also onto something that you don't want to go 4 Thoughtseize, since it's a pretty tough card to leverage late game, especially if you're fighting a tempo deck and you don't have the life points to spare. That being said, Inquisition has never really caught on in Legacy the way Thoughtseize has, because it will miss some things that you just really need to take. People always jump to Force of Will, even though Thoughtseize does not usually take Force of Will, but I don't know, like Natural Order, Kaito, um, Overlord of the Baelmerk, just stuff like that. That being said, it never came up in this video. I feel like Inquisition always did what we wanted it to. And then, yeah, I was disappointed not get more Magus of the Moon action. It was so much fun last time. But you never know what's going to happen when you boot up these leagues, and I hope this was helpful to MRSJ. Maybe illustrate where you want to make some subtle tweaks and stuff like that. I loved having Hydroblast. I loved having access to Hydroblast, even though I didn't cite it in. I'm going to put this art in the thumbnail because I like Hydroblast a lot. Yeah, I guess I'll leave it there. Thank you again to Daybreak. I really enjoy having this account. This all access account is awesome. Grixis control still doing everything I want it to. And I thought those were interesting games. So check out the Patreon if you want to submit your own donation league, or if you want to support me. There's private coaching available. Yeah, I'll catch y'all next time.